Everyone. Wanted to get this out to you, especially for some of the new families and players, so that we can get you up to speed a little bit on CBT and some of our protocols and some of the things that we do, how we do them, and some of the new things that are coming up this year, especially with the facility and things like that. I'm not going to read everything here word for word. I did send this out on the band app so everyone can access this on their own. Um, as you can see, our new facility address is 430 Patriot Drive in Little Chute. That is, we're actually prepping the site today and tomorrow for the concrete slab to be poured next Monday and Tuesday. And then it's going to be about 7 days for that to cure. And then the following week, which I believe is the week of the 10th, 11th, and 12th, they're going to start boarding it up. So we're still on pace. Things are still looking like Thanksgiving weekend or maybe the week after into that first week in December. So things are looking really good as far as the facility goes. So wanted to jump right into to our lessons. Obviously I don't do a lot of lessons anymore, but Et and Luke, they do lessons all year round. We also have Noah Robinson does a great job with hitting lessons. Troy Monabach is very good with some of the younger kids with pitching lessons. Obviously those who have had lessons with Et and Luke, they're as good as it gets. Et does hitting and catching. Luke can do pitching, hitting, and fielding. Cole Kraft is another one. Cole will start doing them again at the new facility this winter. So if you want to get in with Cole, Cole is an exceptional teacher, hitting instructor. He does an incredible job. I do want to put out there is some other areas and people that do lessons in our community, and you certainly can choose to do lessons with whoever you want. I know at times I'm not readily available, and people have to look elsewhere for lessons, which is fine. I do want to caution you. There are some certain places. I'm not going to name any names out of respect, but be very careful on some of the places that you may go to as far as strength training or arm care training, strength training, especially with arms. If you are a young pitcher, I would even say all the way through high school, you should not be doing any weighted ball training, overload, underload. If there's programs out there, and I know there is, if they have you doing that, I would sincerely ask you to stop doing it. Do not see them. It is a high risk. If you go back and look at the YouTube video with the Tim Rattler's doctor and friend of mine, Dr. Mejia, a lot of those programs, there's a 3% chance of increase in velocity and a 24% chance of risk of increase, and some of it serious injury. So we, here at CBT, we're very cautious with stuff like that. We're very long toss oriented with arm strength and job care, strengthening, things like that. We're not into the weighted ball, overload, underload stuff. Arms, especially young arms, are not meant to do that. Ligaments and tendons are not. It is not designed for that. It is harmful, and I caution you very seriously to stay away from that. If you have any more questions for me on that individually, please call me or email me as soon as possible. Your son's health is the utmost importance to me, certainly. Our player fees, I know many of you have seen those already. I know you can see them on here, but if you go, so this is our main website, CavaianiBaseball.com. If you go and you click on the 2023 tryouts, you can actually see everything right on here. So I scrolled down. If you click on the player info, fees and payment plan, it's all right here. So all the what you get, the 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 payment structure, important dates, everything is right there and can be accessed from our main website. So the player parent financial agreement form that needs to be signed, the liability waiver, fall ball info, practice player info, everything can be accessed right from there. In addition, we'll get there at some point, but all of our home 2023 tournaments are already in. So if you go click on tournaments, you can see all of them. Starting with our 11U CBT invite, April 21st through the 23rd, all the way through the 13U, I believe, Turf Wars, July 14th through the 16th. So all of those are already in. And then here, if you hover over, once the tournament schedules are done, more into probably like March or April, those will be here. So the specific times of each of those tournaments will be on there. Our online store is right here. The TCA Team Store. This is a really cool feature that I don't think a lot of people access. If you click on this, there's so many different things. Oakley sunglasses, bat handle wraps, so many different things where you get 20% off of everything. If you type in code CBT, I mean, you can get $200 Oakley sunglasses for 20% off. It's very hard to find Oakley sunglasses at a discount anywhere. So you can access that, the TCA Team Store, and then obviously our online store right here is where you can order anything, clothing online, and it's starting to get a lot better as far as the return times and arrival times. The pandemic is in the past, so things seem to start are speeding up as far as that goes again. So that's really nice. And obviously, lessons to reach out to guys and our staff, the teams I haven't updated yet, but our website's a really nice tool to kind of stay up to date on things. Payment methods. I have recently finally let go of all the accounting and my QuickBooks. I've actually given it off to a CPA, a certified public accountant. I know I did each year. I'm always looking to improve, just like I ask my players to improve. I do the same thing. We did a survey this past year of things that people liked at CBT and things that people felt that CBT needed to improve on. One of them was being able to track payments and just our accounting and the ability to see where they're at with their team fees and stuff like that. So my accountant has already done that. We're in the process of finalizing that. She may or may not have sent out emails already for that. It'll be through QuickBooks. So there'll be options to pay with credit cards online. I'm also going to have a credit card reader that's going to be at the new facility so that you can scan or just use a credit card right at the facility. So we are trying to make things easier for us and for you as far as payments go. Obviously, the easiest way to pay is via Venmo, and many of you use that. Anything under $500 payments, Venmo is great for. So thank you to those that use Venmo. And then any cash or checks can be sent to just my home address there, which is 3634 Golden Hill Court. So that's basically the payment methods. And then I will double check here with my accountant to see if those emails have been sent out. If they haven't been, they should be here in the next several weeks so that you guys can track on your own where you're at with your payments. Having my accountant has really taken a lot of pressure and stress off of me. So it's and it's gonna allow me to be able to do other things instead of that, which is a lot less stress and stuff on my plate. So that's another nice step in the right direction. Payment refunds. There are no refunds for any reason. I know that sounds a little bit a little bit crazy, but in our business, it's what we have to do. It protects CBT, it protects our facilities, it protects our coaches, it protects their families. We've had just this past year, I've had several people approach me in January and February and said that their son no longer had interested in playing baseball at all, and that they were no longer playing CBT, and that simply can't happen. Um, I mean, it can, but you're gonna have to still pay the rest of the fee. That leaves us scrambling. We have to do extra work to find other players to fill roster spots. Um, Oftentimes, having those players play for free, giving them free jerseys, free hats, and that all affects our bottom line, our finances, and that cannot happen. So even injuries, if your son gets injured, um, you have to pay the entire fee. Obviously, I'm a reasonable person. If something terrible like that happens, I will do what I can to help you, whether it's giving you free facility access, or if your son is done playing, he can come practice with us when he gets healed. Use the facility through his college career. If you own a business, you can put up a sign at the outdoor field for advertisement to supplement the fee. So I'm very reasonable, but for no reason will there be refunds for any reason. It simply can't happen. My previous place of employment, they were very lenient with that. I didn't have any control over those things, and we are doing things differently here. There was a reason that they went bankrupt and went out of business, and that will not happen here at CBT. So it is what it is. So your commitment in August is that it's a full commitment financially, and everything else as well. So that's where we're at with that. Team size, obviously that changes depending on the age groups. The younger age groups, we try to have smaller age groups where we like to have everyone play, everyone bats every game. Obviously, there may be some teams we may get to 12 if we feel we have 12 players that are really good ball players and that can help us win games and win tournaments, and are good kids from good families. But typically we'll be in the 10 to 11 range. Once we get up to that high school age level, rosters will expand. We do the thing called POs, which is pitcher onlys. So that can expand rosters. I think one year we had 16 or 17 players on one of our 17U teams, but 3, 4, or 5 of them were POs, and then 11 or 12 of them were position players. So it does vary by age group, and obviously the older age groups, you need more pitchers. You might play in tournaments that are 6, 7, 8 games in a weekend, and you need as many bodies and as many arms as possible. The number of tournaments, high school age groups, we usually play 6. Sometimes it's 5 depending on the teams, but usually it's 6. All the other teams, it's usually 6 or 7. Some teams will elect to play more. I think last year one of the teams played 8. A couple years ago, one of the teams actually played 9 or 10, I believe. Anything over 7, the CBT covers 7 tournaments. If people want to do more, that's totally fine. But those tournament fees would have to be collected in addition to the normal player fee. So people can play in as many as they want, but the fees would have to be added on for anything beyond 7. Uniforms, each team, for the vast majority of the teams, you'll get 2 hats and 2 jerseys. All the other things, the pants, so you need gray pants with a black stripe, socks, belts, that is all purchased on your own. We just asked that all those colors would be blue or black. For shoes, obviously, we don't want shoes that are red, green, purple. We ask that they would be white, blue, black, or gray. We want to look, we want to look good. We want to look professional. We want to look like a team. So if we have someone with wearing, everyone's wearing blue and one guy's wearing red cleats, it just doesn't work. So please have one of those colors. Winter practices, I want to kind of combine this quickly with the fall practices that we are currently doing right now. We've never done these fall practices before. I'm already happy that we're doing them. Number one, just to give our boys some extra time, some extra reps, practicing, improving their games, and number two, it gives me and our staff some more eyes on the players, especially for some of the teams where we're scrimmaging in inter squatting, where we can see some kids actually play live in game scenarios where some of our new players, we just saw them at a tryout, and we can see them, how they play in a game, what they know in a game situation, how they react in a game situation, and that helps us as we pick our teams here in the ensuing weeks and months leading up into our winter indoor practices. Our black and blue teams, question this morning on the band app was how do we go about selecting those teams? Typically, the black teams are all the CBT players that are returning from the previous year. Now there's always exceptions to that, based on if we have a positional need. A kid might move from the black to the blue based on a positional need, or if that boy would be, let's say, a bigger piece of the puzzle, so to speak, on the other team where he would get more innings, he would get more innings on the mound as a pitcher. So we look at it from the grand scheme of things, what's going to work best for the program as a whole, and then what works best for the individual player. So a lot goes into these decisions. We used to try to make decisions right after tryouts, and I've found, this is my 14th year in travel baseball, I found that is way too quick to make decisions, especially for new kids that we just learned of at tryouts. So doing these fall practices helps a ton. It makes the decisions a lot easier and clearer as we enter the winter. So we will make those decisions before the winter practices start, probably mid-December, based on how the facility construction goes. Practice uniforms, every time you come to a practice, whether it's indoor or outdoors, always wear baseball pants, always wear a baseball cap, preferably CBT stuff, a CBT cap, a CBT shirt. I know for many of the new players, you don't have a CBT hat or shirt yet. That's fine. Wear what you have. I did order the hats already. They are made in China. It's literally 6 to 10 weeks it takes for them to get here. I'm hoping, they're a little bit quicker than they were the last couple years. But you never know. They get shipped over in the boat, and sometimes they get stuck in customs. So whenever they get here, I will release them to the boys. I do have some hats left over from last year, so I may start to disperse some of those to some of the practice players so they can have a hat. But you can also get some stuff on our team store as well if you don't want to wait that long as well. On social media, this one is actually right now, this is big. It's always big. So we're at CBT Wolfpack on Twitter. We use that a lot. A lot of communication is done through there, especially quick stuff. So like game cancellations, practice cancellations, things like that, game updates. Is a lot of that's done on Twitter. I haven't talked to our staff yet, but with the facility opening, I'm not sure if we're going to do a new facility link to that, like a whole new Twitter page for the facility. So one of the questions earlier today on the band app was, can the boys use the new facility on open times? And the answer is absolutely. That's one of the main reasons we're building this facility, is so that you guys and the players can access and use the facility whenever it's open. So I mean, our practices, once a week or twice a week, it's not enough time, to improve their games. So those practices are designed to give the boys, the baseline and the blueprint of what they need to do on their own time, and put in the work on their own to get better. And so that this facility is allowing us to do that. We're going to have a 4-digit code on the door where people can go in and access it at any time, basically between the hours of 6 a.m. and 10 p.m. Any day, outside of any CBT practice hours or any other rental hours. So, and each week that might change. So we're gonna update that weekly on social media. We'll also update it on the band app so people know, especially in the very busy months, which is going to be January, February, and March, and into the second week in April. That's going to be the busy times in there. So I'll basically have it laid out every day, what hours and what times the facility is open, and that's going to be a first come first serve basis. It may get busy, it may not, and then one of the quick rules too, that's going to happen if the boys are 13 and younger, they have to be accompanied by an adult there. So an adult can't just drop them off if they're 13 years old or younger. If they're 14 years and older, then they could be dropped off and they can be there by themselves. I'm hoping that at 14U, the boys are going to be mature enough to be able to handle it on their own in there. I will be there a lot of the times, but I won't be there all the time. We will have a vast security system with cameras everywhere, so I will be able to access it from wherever I'm at, for security reasons, safety reasons. If anything goes bad, goes wrong, anything gets broken, we will have everything on camera, both inside and outside of the facility. So that's going to be one of our rules. Another rule is if any instructors have a lesson during any of those open hours, the instructors would have the right of way for any of the cages. So if you're in at open times and an instructor, say, schedules a last second lesson, the instructor would have the right of way to use that cage before any of the open time people. The band team app, many of you we used it this morning for a lot of those questions. It's a really, really nice app. This will be, I believe, the second year that we're using it now. It's been a game changer for me. It's been super simple to use, one-click systems to get information out. So if you're not familiar with that yet, please do that. It's super important. It's where the vast majority of our information is going to be. Fundraising stuff. Obviously, our big fundraiser is this Saturday with our hit-a-thon. Huge thanks to Andy Rulin for putting that together again. We're already over, I think, $7,000 on that. I mean, that's just incredible. So thank you to everyone that is doing that and has sent out the information out on that on social media. That's huge. We'll do some more stuff too, but I don't want to get into that stuff quite yet on here. Uniforms. I've been told in the past that I'm very unorganized because our boys don't know what jerseys and what hats to wear to games and when to be at games. It's very simple. Always bring both jerseys and both hats to every game, and always be to the game 1 hour before the game time. So if the game's at 10 a.m., be there by 9 a.m., unless told otherwise by that team's specific coach. It's as simple as that. So it's always good to have both there because somebody might forget one. And then we can always change jerseys or hats depending on what color the other team is wearing. Sometimes we don't know what team we're playing. So always bring both jerseys and both hats to every game. That eliminates a lot of pre-game emails and text messages for coaches. So it doesn't put our coaches in a really stressful spot, trying to let people know what to wear and when to be there. It's very simple. Both jerseys, both hats to every game, 1 hour before every game. It's very simple. It's I've been doing this a long time. That's the simplest way to do it, and it's for me it's been the easiest way to do it and communicate it, and it works really well if everyone is on board with it. Tournament schedules. I think I showed before on our website. If you go back here and click on our tournaments, they're all right here. So you can find out what tournament your age group is for our home tournament. I'm already researching other tournaments as well, and I know many of the ones that we're going to go to. My goal is to get all of them done by Thanksgiving. That's usually my goal every year. Don't quote me on that. Sometimes they may get done before that. It might be a week or two after Thanksgiving. But Thanksgiving is usually my goal to get tournament schedules out to everyone. That gives us 5-6 months of preparation with other things so that you guys can plan other games with your local teams. It allows us to plan hotels, which is another emphasis that I'm going to make sure that is better this year. We have Linda Enriquez and Ali Van Driel that are going to tackle our hotels for us this year. So once our tournament schedules are in, I'm going to send those schedules straight to Linda and Ali so that they can reserve some really nice hotels for us and get the ball rolling with that. Because I know that was a main emphasis of something that CBT needs to improve on, and I totally agree. Last year was not good, and this year is going to be a lot better with our hotels. Hotel etiquette. Just really quickly, we have been awesome with this. We've had several hotels that typically don't give coaches rooms for free, but they give them to us because of how great our people are at the hotels. We don't have our players running around at 1 a.m. causing scenes and making noise in the hotels. So they literally want us to stay at hotels because we're respectful, and our kids are all respectful kids, and we're good families, and I can't thank all of you for that. So our reputation is great. There's other teams in hotels where 10, 11, 12-year-olds are running around at 1 a.m. running around hotels, and I don't want that to be us. That should never be us. I want to have fun, obviously, but you can have fun before 10 o'clock and go to bed at 10 o'clock and get up and play some good baseball the next day. So thank you for that. Alcohol at games. I don't really want to touch on it all that much. It hasn't really been an issue. I do want people to enjoy themselves at games. I know for many of you, this is a huge commitment for you guys financially. I know many of you use this as your vacations. That's what I do for the most part with my family, is we use this as vacations. Some weekends I have my family come with me because oftentimes I don't see them a lot for many weekends in a row through the summer. And you want to enjoy a beverage, and that's all good. I just ask, obviously, that you keep it within reason. Try to keep it away from the dugouts or keep it concealed. Just keep it within reason. If you're getting out of control, and if I hear anything, we'd have to have a conversation. But it's not gotten to that point, and I don't think it's ever going to get to that point. But it's always good, I think, to bring up so people can be cognizant of it, so nothing can ever happen in the future. Post-tournament communication. This one, nothing really happened this year. I think it was the year before. But this is very important. To give you an example, there was last year, not this year, but the year before, during the championship of a game, a player wasn't playing, and the mom of the player thought he should be, and literally during the first inning of the game, she was behind the dugout, called me. I was at home, and proceeded to voice her displeasure about it in front of all the other fans, and our dugout, our coach, and I was at home eating dinner with my family on a Sunday evening. Um, that is completely unacceptable. If anything like that would ever happen again, it would be like immediate dismissal from the program. No questions asked. Stuff like that is just completely unacceptable. Even on the drive home that night, I don't want a phone call on a Sunday night. I understand that we're passionate about our kids. I have two kids myself. I get it, but it's there has to be 24 hours. If it's still bothering you, that if it happens Sunday and it's still bothering you Monday night at 6, 7 o'clock at night, shoot me a text message or give me a call, and we'll talk about it like adults when emotions have subsided, and we'll tackle the issue then. But at the literally at the game or driving home from the game, it is absolutely 100% unacceptable and will be immediate removal from the program. It cannot happen. I've gotten calls at my house. I've gotten calls while I'm coaching at another city in another tournament. It is completely unacceptable. So I want to make that crystal clear. Our post tournament communication is a 24-hour rule Monday night. If it's still bothering you, call me and let's talk through it like adults. Our game tracking, the Game Changer app. I'm sure most of you know that. I don't really have to go through that all that much, but it's pretty important. We do it now where a lot of our parents will stream the games, which is great. So parents that can't make the tournaments can watch the games online, which is a great feature. We'll go into more about that later. Our turf field, I know most of you have experienced it so far and have seen it. It has literally been blessing by God, for our program, for our players, for me personally, for my time, the maintenance of it, the upkeep of it, it's just the beauty of it. It's been the ability to run our own games, our own tournaments for all age groups. It's just been a game changer for our program. And then now with our new facility coming, kind of what I touched on before, all of our winter training will be at our new facility. It's 13,000 square feet. We're going to have a mezzanine up top. We're going to have a player lounge up top, a men's and women's bathroom, a full weight room area, arm strengthening, conditioning area, two full batting cages, retractable 16 by 70 foot cages, full turf space, and then with the possibility of adding on in the future, we have space for up to about 24,000 square feet of indoor facility. So we're getting close to that. Like I said, late November, early December, we should be open, up and running, and it's some exciting times for CBT and our staff and our players. And we're excited to have all the new people this year join us. Last year to this year, we had between 82 to 83% of our players and families return. To give anyone perspective, this is my 14th year in travel baseball. A good year is usually between about 60 to 65% of returning players is considered a positive year. And we've had nearly 83% of our families return. So things are going really well. We had a great return in families and players, and we've had a nice new influx of families and players. So we're going from basically 8 teams to 13, possibly 14 teams this coming year. So we're basically at our capacity with teams, and we're really excited about that. We're excited to have our facilities here finally done, between our turf field and our indoor facility, so we don't ever really have to worry about that anymore unless we want to expand our indoor facility or add some more fields out at USA for further expansion if and when needed. But we're at the point where we don't need anything and we have everything that we need. So thank you to all of you who have played CBT for the past several years, and for the new ones that have joined us, we welcome you, and we're really thankful for everyone that has believed in us and still believe in us. For those that have played with us for several years now, this is our 6th year of CBT, and some of you guys have been with us since day one, and we appreciate you more than you would ever know. So, thank you all. God bless you all, and we will see you all soon.